Take a look at this recent statistic from Counterpoint. 58% growth for Motorola in Q1 2024 compared to Q1 2023. But here's a twist in the deal. It doesn't include the sales of the Motorola Edge 50 Pro because it was launched in Q2 2024. Now, Motorola has strong ambitions of entering the top 5 phone brands in India by capturing 8 to 10% of the market. Now, what does Motorola need for it? A solid portfolio of devices with a strong contender under 25,000 rupees. Well, here it is. The Motorola Edge 50 Fusion. Let's do the honors and review it. Hi, I'm Ashad. You're watching Trakin English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. So, Motorola made a pink Edge 50 Fusion. And I like it. For those who are thinking, gee, Ashad likes pink. Well, I don't believe in gender normative stereotypes propagated by our society. Boys can like pink and girls can like blue too. And I like it. My problem is not so much with the color, but this new material used by Motorola. Now, it's got a suede leather finish and it has the problems of suede leather as well. I own a couple of suede leather shoes and they attract dust very easily. It gets dirty really fast because that's just the nature of the material. Can't do much about it. Now, you do have an alternative vegan leather variant and I'd probably pick those because for sustained long-term use case, that would be better. One thing I like about the new Motorola Edge series phones is that Moto matches the colors of the phones and the case as well. This whole Pantone collaboration is completely up my alley. I absolutely love it. Keep at it, Moto. And the brand also offers a sustainable, environmental friendly package without having to remove the charger or the case or the cable from the box. Samsung. Now, unlike the Moto Edge 50 Pro, you do not get a USB Type-C Gen 3.2 port, it's USB Type-C Gen 2.0 speeds. And there's no support for wireless charging either. But like the Edge 50 Pro, the Edge 50 Fusion also gets IP68 rating, which makes it one of the most affordable phones to offer that certification. And you know what my offer to you would be if you help us reach 1 million subscribers by the end of 2024? Fantastic tech content, of course. And yeah, I know people who've not forgotten it. Yeah, the plucked chicken clean shaven look. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. The 6.67-inch POLED display is a curved panel, like most other Motorola phones we've tested in the recent past. It's also got 144Hz refresh rate, so that's super smooth as well. You can keep it at auto or you can force 144Hz. And when you take it outdoors, you get a peak brightness in high brightness mode of 1200 nits. Take a look at the brightness comparison with the Nord CE4 and the Nothing Phone 2a for yourself. Now, the peak brightness rated for when you're watching HDR content is 1600 nits, but that'll be a 1% window. And HDR is not supported on Netflix at the moment, at least not at the time of testing. And weirdly enough, the Edge 50 Fusion doesn't support YouTube HDR either. In fact, despite the lack of the Pantone collaboration, the color accuracy is pretty close to neutral. It's pretty good. The in-display fingerprint scanner that you get in the phone is also fast and responsive. My only problem with the display is the haptic feedback. It's soft, it's not very refined, it's not an X-axis linear motor. Motorola, please fix this for future phones because that makes the experience even more premium. To round off the multimedia aspect of the phone, you get stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos support and it sounds rich, crisp and detailed. Take a listen to it right next to the Motorola Edge 50 Pro for yourself and let me know what you guys think. Now, for audiophiles in the house, you do get support for LDAC and LHDC codecs as well. In fact, I also tried out my DAC with the phone and it worked absolutely fine. So, the Edge 50 Fusion has Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 and there are two variants of the phone, 8128GB and 12256GB with LPDDR4X RAM type and UFS 2.2 storage. Now, UFS 2.2 is not as well optimized as the Edge 50 Pro, but it's plenty fast for this price range. Anyway, in Antutu, the Edge 50 Fusion scored lower than the Realme 12 Pro Plus and the Poco X6. Slightly lower, not much. Geekbench scores although were mostly on par. But what's heartening to see is that the CPU is actually stable. So I ran the CPU throttle test where I engaged 40 threads for 30 minutes and the CPU stability is the best among Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 phones, 84%. Even in our 3D Mark wireless test, the GPU stability was pretty good. It was 99% and the phone doesn't heat up at all. In fact, there's some sort of thermal solution inside the phone that keeps the phone running cool. Not required for 7S Gen 2, but it's there and it works well. If you want to game, BGMI has been optimized well for the 7S Gen 2. In fact, it runs at smooth and extreme graphics on all the three 7S Gen 2 phones we've tested till date. Poco X6, Realme 12 Pro Plus, and now the Moto Edge 50 Fusion. In fact, even the Ultra HDR option has been enabled on the Edge 50 Fusion, which is good. But of course, this is not a gaming phone, and if you want a gaming specific phone, then something like the Poco X6 Pro would be better because it has Dimensity 8300, which is very, very powerful. Daily usage is smooth, stutter-free, and barely any different from the experience that I had with the Edge 50 Pro, which has a far more powerful Snapdragon 7 Gen 3, which means good optimization. Also, you get support for 15 5G bands, Wi-Fi 6, NFC. Motorola never misses a beat when it comes to really good network connectivity options. And it's true for the Edge 50 Fusion as well. Now, the 5000 mAh battery inside the phone lasted me 7 hours in the single run that I've had till now. Of course, there's still some testing left for the Edge 50 Fusion, but I'll save that for the comparisons. Oh yes, they're coming. Anyway, a full charge of 0 to 100 takes about 45 minutes with the in-box 68-watt charger. And the phone also supports PD 3.0, mind you. And this charger is a Type-C to Type-C cable, so you can actually use it with your other devices as well to charge them up. So not only do you get a charger in the box, you get a charger that's useful for other products as well. Yep, the Edge 50 Fusion has Hello UI based on Android 14. Yes, the same Hello UI that was there on the Motorola Edge 50 Pro as well. And the company also promises 3 years of OS updates and 4 years of security updates for the Edge 50 Fusion as well. It's definitely a good promise to make and one that the company can hopefully live up to considering its past track record. Fingers crossed. I've spoken at length about Hello UI already, but here are a few reasons why I think it's one of the best operating systems in this price range. First and foremost, it's a premium experience. It's clean, it's near stock, and has zero bloatware. Like none of the apps that are pre-installed are useless. And you also get super smooth animations. Motorola doesn't cut it out for the more affordable phone. And finally, you get all of those awesome features like Moto Gestures, Moto Secure, and of course, Ready For as well. So it's definitely in the top 3 best software experiences that you can find in this price range. So, Sony Litia 700C. That's the name of the new 50 megapixel sensor that's been used for the primary camera of the Edge 50 Fusion. You also get a 13 megapixel ultrawide with autofocus capabilities, so you can do macro photos and macro videos as well. And there's a 32 MP selfie camera. Now here's the thing, the camera app, just like the Edge 50 Pro, is a little wonky. It's not very stable. But the pictures you get from the phone, pretty good. Because the primary camera actually captures a lot of details with a slight bit of sharpening. But when you use the night mode and take low light shots, the sharpening turns into over sharpening. See, the low light shots have decent exposure, but the over sharpening is a little annoying. Now the primary camera color reproduction is very close to neutral. In fact, the skin tones that I captured with the Edge 50 Fusion do not exhibit that same yellow skin tone problem that I had with the Edge 50 Pro. The HDR algorithm is not too bad. You get a fairly decent control over the highlights, and Motorola also manages to pull out a fair amount of details on the shadows as well. But it's obviously not as good as the more expensive Edge 50 Pro, which excels at it. By the way, here's a screenshot of the camera app while I was taking the HDR shot and the HDR sample itself. So of course, you do not get a live HDR view on the camera app itself. It takes good photos. I like it. Now the 13 MP ultrawide captures enough details in daylight, but it kind of falters in low light. It's actually very soft. That said, I was particularly shocked at one thing, and that is the color science consistency that the primary camera maintains with the ultrawide. It's even better than the Edge 50 Pro. There's no color shift whatsoever. Moto's selfie performance has also improved by leaps and bounds. You get clean, accurate details. The color reproduction is pretty good. The skin tones are close to natural as well. But most importantly, even without the night mode option available for the selfie camera, you do get good pictures from the selfie camera. But the one thing that Moto has nailed on the Edge 50 Fusion that many other brands do not offer in this price range is 4K video recording, of course at 30 FPS from all the cameras. But 4K 30 FPS with stabilization, the quality looks very good. Even the HDR performance is not too bad. The skin tones look very close to natural as well whenever you're shooting people. And the sound recording is pretty decent too. The good thing with the Moto is that you can shoot at 4K 30 FPS using the primary camera with stabilization. And so the camera performance is definitely moving in the right direction with Motorola phones. But yes, we will say that for sure once we've done a comparison with other phones under 25,000 rupees. So the Motorola Edge 50 Fusion is priced exceptionally well. So the base variant is available for 23,000 and the higher variant is available for 25,000. Plus Motorola has a 2,000 rupee discount. So the price comes down to 21,000 and 23,000. And at that price, this is a steal deal. Honestly, because it undercuts both the Nothing Phone 2A and the OnePlus Nord CE4 and gives you IP68 rating, 144Hz refresh rate, Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on top of the display, which again is a rarity in this price range. There's a lot that Motorola gets right once again. So it does become an easy recommendation. Having said that, a comparison with the OnePlus Nord CE4 is coming very soon. So hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.